stress is going on. Pressing on, pressing on, I'm pressing on.
A fine hello to everyone out there on YouTube. For those of you who don't know me, I'm IK86, and this is my review for Dragon Ball Revenge of King Piccolo on the Nintendo Wii. Based upon Akira Toriyama's immensely popular manga of the same name, Revenge of King Piccolo, initially released as Tenkaichi Daiboken, or the world's greatest adventure in Japan, brings the story of the young Goku to home consoles, and feels very much like a sequel to Dragon Ball Origins on the Nintendo DS, as the game allows players to relive Goku's teenage years and take him on a platforming / beat-em-up adventure across many vivid and colourful environments, as the super strong Saiyan-to-be butts heads with the forces of the Red Ribbon Army before crossing paths with the titular Demon King Piccolo. Suffice to say, the adventure mode is the meat of the game, and it's here that you can step into Goku's teeny tiny shoes and send him on his way, collecting treasures and Zenny, which can be used in Fortune Teller Baba's shop to purchase helpful items and a whole slew of unlockables, such as cutscenes, music, voice clips and character models, all of which are available for your viewing pleasure in the game's gallery mode. There's also a battle mode which will either pit you against the CPU or allow you to duke it out with a friend, granting control over more than a few familiar faces from the series, although most of them need to be unlocked by meeting certain conditions within the game. In regards to the controls, you've got quite a variety here at your disposal, with the Wiimote and Nunchuck as well as the classic and GameCube controllers. To start with, the A and B buttons respectively act as attack and jump buttons across all of the control setups, with the A button allowing the use of standard melee attacks or a ground stomp attack if pressed in mid-air. In addition, Goku can perform a stun attack by holding the control stick up and pressing A at the same time, as well as a trigger attack by pressing down an A. The game's lock-on feature, activated by pressing Z on the Wii Nunchuck and Y on the other controllers, allows you to interact with your surroundings, as well as follow your target upon performing a trigger attack to deal out some nice combo damage and fill up your energy meters. Pressing C on the Nunchuck or R on the other controllers lets Goku defend against enemy attacks, dodge out of the way while moving, or perform a counter-attack if one of the energy meters is full. Last but not least, Goku can utilize the ever-famous Kamehameha upon gathering sufficient energy by pressing either the Wiimote's control pad or X on the other controllers. The graphics are done quite nicely for the system, with the fully rendered 3D cutscenes showing off clean and crisp character models that look absolutely gorgeous.
Very interesting. Let's just leave them alive and let them find the treasure and the ball for us.
Whoa! There's someone here! The Red Ribbon Army? No. Is it even human?
Wait! So, what is it? A pirate ghost?
It's over there!
The soundtrack has a decent selection of tracks to it, including a brand new vocal theme song performed by Hiroshi Takahashi, the very same man who performed the theme song to the Dragon Ball anime, the one and only Makafushigi Adventure. There's also the buy now standard option to switch between Japanese and English vocals, and interestingly enough, the game also has quite a few recycled tracks from Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, mostly prevalent during the boss battles and the two-player battle mode. Unfortunately, I have a few less than stellar things to say about Revenge of King Piccolo. The first is that while the backgrounds do look vivid and colourful as I said before, they also tend to repeat themselves later in the game, and Fortune Teller Baba's dungeon stage is a prime example of this, even running at a lower frame rate than the other stages for some bizarre reason, so much so as to be infuriatingly distracting. The next complaint I have is the battle mode. While I'm fully aware that the original Dragon Ball series didn't put quite as much emphasis on fast-paced fisticuffs as Z and GT did, the manner in which this battle mode plays out is very lackluster and can get boring quite quickly. It certainly doesn't help that the CPU is an absolute cinch to beat on even the most difficult settings. Next up on the list of downside is a common problem with Dragon Ball games, the way in which the story plays out. I couldn't help but compare this element of the game to the much more complete Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure on the Game Boy Advance, since in ROKP, characters such as Krillin and Bulma just seem to randomly pop up with no prior explanation as to who they are or why they're there. This is sure to confuse newcomers to the Dragon world, but in the interest of fairness, this is what happens when you set the beginning of a game in the middle of a pre-established story. Because of this, the game is also, unfortunately, surprisingly short, with only 9 worlds broken up into various separate stages. Dragon Ball Revenge of King Piccolo does a respectable job of moving the original Dragon Ball series away from handheld systems, and despite its shortcomings, I did find it rather fun. If you're a fan of the series and, like me, can only sink in a few hours of game time a day, this one is worth checking out. If you're the sort of person who has an insatiable hard-on for strictly Dragon Ball Z fighting games, not that there's anything wrong with that, mind you, then I think it's safe to say that this game might not be for you. In any case, I think this is yet another welcome break from the string of DBZ console fighters, and a welcome addition to the Wii's Dragon Ball library.